Hello, so this is going to be a tutorial on how to complete the Google MyMaps project for your 50 state project that your students will be doing. So normally to create a Google MyMaps, you would go to your drive and go to New, More, and then Google MyMaps. But Guinevere and I already created the template, so I'm just going to pull that up now. I'm going to not learn more. Got it. Okay, so we froze this as the default setting so that the students would automatically see the United States and the 50 states that they will be presenting. How Guinevere figured this out was if you click on the three dots at the top, you can set default view. So this is the default view that we set. We also created 3 different layers. A layer just means that when a layer is checked, for instance, we named the first layer Miss Clark, then when students will be dropping their pins on their states, it'll automatically just go under her layer so that her students know where they should be dropping pins. And then Schultz and Gallagher's students will know where they're dropping pins. So when Guinevere will be doing this with her students, she'll make sure that her box is checked and that the other 2 teachers' boxes are unchecked, and vice versa. So when Carly does this, she'll just uncheck Guinevere's box so that her students will only be dropping pins on that layer. So I'm going to be showing you how to do this through Miss Clark's layer. So when your students are going to be dropping pins, the first thing they need to do is actually search for the area. They could just click on add marker and drop it like on Montana. But if you want them to actually drop it on a capital, then you're going to want them to search more specifically. So for instance, if I want to drop a pin on, let's say, Phoenix, Arizona, then I'll just type in Phoenix, Arizona. It pops up automatically. So then a pin will automatically drop on Phoenix. So to add this pin, I would just click add to map, and then it should pop up underneath Miss Clark's layer, which tells me that her student is part of the Phoenix group. So from here, students can get creative. They can change the style of their icons, so they can change the color if they want. They can also change the design. There's more icons that they can choose from, and I'll tell you now, they will get very distracted on this. And also there are interesting icons like, giraffes and martini glasses, so just be aware of that. I'm going to do a dinosaur because you can find dinosaurs in Phoenix, Arizona, I'm sure. So that's how you change the icon. If you want, you can always change it back. I like my students to choose an icon that's semi-relevant, or at least choose a color that they can remember is theirs, especially if there's multiple icons being put on this map. From here, they could click on the pencil, which will allow them to edit. They can type words here. They can also add photos, so they can search on Google Images directly, which is great because all these images are legal to use. Or they can upload images. I don't know why they would do that on a Chromebook, or they can drag the images as well. So if I just type in Phoenix, let's say I want to, well, this is not what I was looking for. Okay, so Phoenix, Arizona. Okay, good, there's no birds. Okay, I'm gonna use this image right here. Just gonna click on it, hit select, and then the image will pop up. I can also create a slideshow by clicking the plus sign. So let's say I want a picture of cactus, because that's important apparently in Arizona, and I click on this image. All of a sudden I created a slideshow of my 2 images. So you might want to have your students, have a picture of the Capitol, a picture of the state bird or flower or whatever it is that you guys want to do. And then they can also remove the pin. They can delete the picture if they want. So basically the pins allow you to add detail, written work, and allows you to add images. So if you feel like this is good, you can hit save. And then when students hover over the pin or click on the pin, this information will pop up. So the biggest things to remember for Google MyMaps, especially with new students who have not done this before, is that students get really excited with the icons and they want to click on other people's work. And sometimes work accidentally gets deleted or changed. So just be aware that that's an issue that has come up in 7th grade. So I imagine it could come up in 5th grade. Also, when I do it for the first time with my students, I usually over micromanage them. So I'll go to table group and just have those 4 to 5 kids drop a pin, and everyone else's Chromebooks are angled so that I'm making sure that they're dropping it at the right spot and that they're not messing with other people's stuff and they're not clicking on the wrong layer. And also, I told Guinevere, when your students are done dropping their pins, you might want to just make a copy of the map. That way, if anything happens in the other classes or anything happens during the next day, at least you have the old work so students' hearts aren't broken if their work gets deleted. And so when you want to post this on Google Classroom, we changed the sharing rights, Guinevere and I, but you just go to the share box up here. And then there's different options. We allowed anyone with the link to edit. That's how our students will be able to actually edit the work. But I think when you guys are done, and Guinevere had this idea too, is you're going to want to change it to view only, not public. You want to change it right here to view only so that when students are looking at each other's 50-state projects, they're not deleting work. That could be very chaotic. So have it view only when you posted the link on Google Classroom so that nothing scary happens with everyone's work. So I believe that's all I have for you guys to know about this. There's a lot more you can do with Google My Maps in the future. For instance, you can create lines, you can create biking routes, you can actually shade in areas of a map. I know some math teachers do that when they're teaching shapes. And you can also just drop your own pins as well. And you can also use distant measurements if you want to get all mathy, So there's different options with that. But I think that's all you have to know about this project in particular. Just once again, be aware that students sometimes get confused on how to drop pins. Sometimes it's a little chaotic if you just have all your students drop a pin at one time. So break it up and then change it to view only when everyone's ready. So that's all I have for you. Let me know if you have any other questions. Bye.